everyone, and welcome back to the latest edition of the JTWJE Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of JTWJE.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. If you're listening to this on our audio platforms, please download this episode and more episodes, and please give us a 5-star rating. I'm so honored and thrilled to welcome back for the very first time on this podcast and the first time in 8 years on this platform. He is one of my fitness role models. He is a fitness entrepreneur. He has as of this recording, over 3 million YouTube subscribers on Scott Herman Fitness, with over 688 million YouTube videos have been viewed that many times. He's also the co-founder and vice president of the strategic partnerships for WAGMI Games. Please help me welcome one of my all-time favorite people, Scott Herman, to the podcast.
Thanks, Jacob. Thanks. Happy to be back. I didn't realize it's been 8 years. I mean, we've chatted, on Instagram and things like that, the entire time, but I didn't realize it was 8 years since the last time I was on Jake's Take.
And first time on the podcast. So we have come a long way, my friend. I'm so proud of everything. I always make sure to send you my list, and thank you so much for encouraging me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, man. My pleasure. Happy to be here.
All righty, Scott. As we noted, it's been 8 years since we last spoke. So how have you grown as an entrepreneur since our last time we corresponded back in 2017?
Yeah, so I would say for me, I continued to focus obviously on my YouTube channel. I have my website, muscularstrength.com, where, my entire exercise database is there. My routine database is there. I have 8 programs on there for muscle gain, like 4 or 5 programs for home workouts, fat loss. So custom meal planner, everything is over there on the website. And I have been just continuously growing that business. I still continuously grow it to this day. But then about 4 years ago, I actually had an opportunity to get into gaming. And as you know, because we've chatted before, my 2 passions have always been fitness and gaming. And when I say gaming, I mean collecting comics, anime. Like, you can tell from my background, I have all my figurines and things behind me. So when I saw an opportunity to do something really special in the gaming world, I decided to kind of dive headfirst into that. And so still produce fitness content. I still run my website, of course. But my passion project right now is certainly WAGMI Games.
Awesome. And that's amazing to see. It's amazing that you've inspired a lot of people, including myself, but also I love that you're pursuing your passion of fitness and also gaming and collecting comics. We've had talks all the time about what's been going on in the comic book world and also with the gaming world as well.
Yeah, definitely. You got to be able to do the things that you love to do in life. I mean, look at you every single day, right? You're always going to the gym. You're spending a lot of time with your family. Your Jake Takes podcast has been doing phenomenal. I mean, you know it.
Absolutely. So I want to talk to you about WAGMI Games. So what drew you to join this company?
So what drew me in was I have another YouTube channel that I grew to about 60,000 subscribers called Oh the Hermanity, and it was actually a channel where I was streaming mobile games. And when I came across WAGMI Games and the team, they were about 3 months old. And what they were building wasn't just a mobile game. It was actually like an entire sci-fi universe with original characters, original story. And their plan was to really take the gaming community by storm by also introducing asset ownership within the game. So when you're playing your mobile game, and, we all spend money on mobile games, $2 here, $5 there, right? But what ends up happening when you're done playing the game, you can't get any of that money back because all of the assets, all the characters, all the weapons, all the skins, all the upgrades, they're locked within that game, right? So the plan with WAGMI Games is we actually have asset ownership where you can go on a secondary market and actually buy, sell, and trade your cards, your characters, and all those things. Think of it as like the eBay of gaming, right? Where if I want to trade with you, maybe I want to buy something from you, or maybe you want to buy something from me and complete my collection. It kind of reminded me when I was a kid. I used to collect Marvel superhero cards, DC Comics, right? My mom would take me to the flea market on the weekends to try to get the cards I was missing from my collection. All the hologram cards, the foil cards, or even the regular cards that are in the set that are easy to get, but I still hadn't gotten one in the packs that I opened. So kind of was just like a moment for me where I was like, wow, this is going to be the next big thing in gaming, the ability to actually have control over the things that you're buying inside your mobile game. I had the same feeling back in 2009 when I started YouTube, and everyone said I was crazy, that YouTube was never going to work. It was never going to be a thing. Nobody was ever going to watch fitness content on YouTube when they could go buy a Men's Health magazine. And I said, well, I think you're wrong, and I'm going to prove you wrong. Fast forward to now, WAGMI Games, we're doing the same thing all over again. And since we've started, we've had an incredible journey. We've worked with some of the top studios in the world. Our character design, we worked with this studio called GadgetBot. They're a AAA studio out of California. So you might not know the name of the studio, but they've worked on and designed characters for Pacific Rim, Transformers, Ender's Game, Jurassic World, Elite
Wow.
Battle Angel, Apex Legends Mobile, Call of Duty, right? Big, big, big names. Uh,
Absolutely.
One of our lead advisors is Alex Ropian. He's one of the co-founders of Bungie, one of the co-creators of Halo, which is pretty big. Ed Del Castillo, one of the visionaries behind Command and Conquer. On our internal team, we have guys that have worked on apps like Fishing Clash that have made over $600 million. Our lead product design is this guy, Dave Mata. He was actually the head of development for this company called Ebony. They've done over $1 billion. When you're on your phone, you see those ads pop up with the little army guys like shooting the barrels and you're moving them back and forth. So Ebony has a whole slew of games that are similar to that. I know you guys have all seen ads for it. So Dave was actually in charge of leading that. So he's with us as well. So we have an amazing internal team. And we've also worked with some great creators. Some guys from Marvel helped us with our first comic book. So
That comic looks amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it was Todd Wanish and his team. So his company is actually called Adult Fantasy, and he's done some incredible work. Him and his partners over at Marvel throughout the years. He worked at Cartoon Network. He worked on shows like Ed, Ed and Eddie, Samurai Jack. Go all the way back to like Kid Robot. For those of you who are fans of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, he actually designed Meatwad, the meatball, which is pretty cool. One of my favorite shows growing up. We also have like really cool collectibles that we've had prototypes made of. So this is actually a U2s of Melcros. You can see right here. So these
Wow.
these things are super detailed. We actually did her and the Alien Emperor Temelicus as the first set. So these are going to be available soon. And we've also already gone into some prototyping for what the action figures might look like. And the person who led that is a guy by the name of David Vonner. And he was actually the lead developer for the Marvel Universe 3 3/4-inch toys for Iron Man and Thor, Spider-Man, right? So a lot of talented people have come on board over the last 4 years. And it just goes to show you that, you know, when you really put your mind to something and you believe in it, you can make the impossible possible. And that's what we've been doing here.
And it sounds amazing. You've also I've been seeing your videos as well. You've also helped out with the promotion wise. In fact, you actually dressed, if I remember correctly, as a character and walked in Times Square.
Yeah, we had we had an opportunity to go on a reality TV show where we were pitching our project. It was very similar to like Shark Tank meets The Apprentice type show. And we had a custom suit made for me of one of our characters, the Human Emperor. So it's like a big robotic suit, lights up. It's really cool. And so after the show, we started taking it to events. And yeah, we took it to an event in New York. It weighs like 88 pounds. It's not a light suit. It's really big. And I walked from the Javits Center to Times Square and back. It took me like 2 hours. And my friend who made the suit, his name is John Denny, such a talented guy. He actually did a lot of like the Star Wars sets at Disneyland in Orlando. He created the Buzz Lightyear suit, right? He does a lot of stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, so most people can only wear stuff like this for 20 to 30 minutes. I was like, well,
Oh
I had
my.
it on for 2 hours because I had some work to do.
But seriously, Scott, as someone that, as you and I both know, I've lived in New York a couple of years as well, and to the Javits Center in Times Square, oh my God, that is no laughing matter. You must have needed like lots of water and lots of rest after wearing that suit.
Oh yeah, because I was terrified of drinking or eating while in it, because if I had to go to the bathroom, there's no way. I mean, you have to take the whole suit off. And you know what got me the worst? Because the chest piece is like 40 pounds and it sits on your shoulders, right? So I was anticipating that my shoulders were going to get destroyed from the walk. It was my inner thighs, because as you know, the streets of New York aren't straight. So walking on those sidewalks where sometimes they're flat, sometimes they're curved, right? My inner thighs and my outer hips just were screaming after the first 10 minutes. And I was just like, how am I going to make this happen? And I, I do it. I said, I'm going to do it for the views. Do it for the views.
And you did amazing, my friend, with that. And I gotta say, got WAGMI is doing incredible work, and I've been seeing what you on Hustle on Twitter and on X and Twitter, X, and Instagram, and I'm so proud of all of what you guys have done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're in early access right now with the app. So the app is on the App Store. At the time of filming this podcast, we went into maintenance mode because we have a massive update that's uploading. So by the time you download it, it should be done. But we're really focused on working with creators, influencers, right? We understand that, you want people to play your game, you got to get people playing it on stream, right? Of course, we have traditional ads and all those things. In fact, we're actually doing a lot of stuff with the anime that we created. So we actually put together a pilot trailer. It has about 600,000 views on YouTube, close to 500,000 on Twitter. And we worked with the same studio that did Castlevania on Netflix. They also do Devil May Cry, Blood of Zeus, Sesmanos, Tomb Raider, right? So they developed our trailer, and if you guys watch it, you'll instantly see some of the similarities in the way they draw the characters. And we also have a digital version of our comic book on Webtoons. So if you go to Webtoons and type in WAGMI, WAGMI, our comic book will pop up, and that's a place where we can continue the story. Because as you know, Jacob, as the story grows, that all that lore comes back to the game. So all these other things that we're doing, the comic, the toys, the anime, right? All of that furthers the story so we can bring it back to the mobile game, create new characters, have fun events for people to participate in, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be fun. Those are definitely fun. And I'm so proud of all of that. And you guys are building up lures. Who knows? Especially it could turn that anime one shot could turn into an anime series.
Exactly. That's the plan. That's the plan.
Absolutely. And then like who knows? You could do like crossovers. Like I can just like it's gonna be interesting seeing your characters in Castlevania or
Well,
Tomb
that
Raider.
that that wouldn't happen.
That would happen.
That kind of crossover probably wouldn't happen because the stories are very different. But I mean, you see crossovers of characters, in like Fortnite, for example, right? You can play as a Ninja Turtle, you can play as Goku, you can play as characters from scary movies, you can play as characters from Marvel, right? So there's crossover events that happen in gaming that certainly we can be a part of. And then, of course, when it makes sense to do crossovers with other IPs, we would certainly look into those as well.
Yeah, especially because I know your love of Dragon Ball. That would be amazing to see your character go up against Goku or see them go up against team up against Frieza.
I would have a hard time figuring out who I would want to be in that scenario because, I have to represent my brand, but also, I'd want to be Goku or if we're getting real, Broly's my favorite character. So
I was about ready to bring it. You brought him right in. So you also entered the cosplay arena as Boston Broly. So
yeah.
what has made Broly one of your favorite Dragon Ball characters?
So, yeah, so Broly, I feel like, OG Broly, so my cosplay is OG Broly, not the Super Broly. I might do a Super Broly at some point. Even though OG Broly was a villain, I mean, he's a bastard, really. Um, what I liked about him growing up was not just the fact that he was strong, it was that he was like limitless in his strength, right? For me, my mentality in the gym, I obviously was not the biggest, not the strongest, right? But I always felt like if I can push my limits, I can always get stronger. And so I gravitated more towards him as a character because he just kind of laughed and at everything that was thrown at him and then got stronger and stronger and stronger. More fighters showed up. So now he's fighting like, three people at once and he doesn't care and he's just laughing and beating everyone up. I don't know, as a young kid, that just kind of inspired me to, push myself to my limit to be as strong as I can be and not be afraid of, I guess, what comes at me, right? I mean, ultimately, Broly gets killed because he is a bad guy. But I just always thought it was so badass that, he starts off as this kind of like timid guy because he's under the control of his dad. And I was always very introverted as a kid. And I feel like I really came out of my shell as I got older, as I grew, as my physique got better, I gained more confidence. And you can kind of see that story play out in Broly. Like when he's in his base form, he's just kind of like quiet and sad, and everyone kind of looks down on him. And then he transforms, and everyone's like shitting their pants, right?
Absolutely. It's like basically, it's like Broly's almost like fighting if Goku's fighting Frieza, Cell, and Boo all at once.
Yeah, exactly. And I really like what they did with the new version of Broly because they made him more a part of the cast, where they really introduced him as a misunderstood character, kind of like a feral beast, where like he's really strong and he's protective of the things that he likes, but he's really aggressive towards everyone else. And they brought him into the fold and basically made him a good guy, right? Because now he trains with Goku and Vegeta, and he's training on Lord Beerus's planet right now too, right, with Whis. So they brought him in and kind of put him on the main roster, which means he's going to stick around as like a main character. And I thought that was great because I was always so sad that Broly was kind of like a side quest movie and he was never a part of the main storyline. So when they made him canon, I thought that was great. I was like, awesome.
I thought that was awesome too to see Broly being on the same side for once. So
Yeah.
now and like now training with Whis, I gotta say this. It feels like every with Goku with Dragon Ball, it feels like every teacher Goku had gets bigger. It was Roshi. It was his first Grandpa Gohan, then Roshi, then Kuririn, then Kami, then King Kai, then of course Beerus and Whis. But however, I gotta say, of the most impactful for Goku on the character, Gohan, Roshi, Whis.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing with Whis is Goku needs to now figure out a way to make Ultra Instinct his own power because the way he uses the power right now is the way that the angels use it, right? And a lot of people are speculating that Daima was kind of just like a fun thing to watch, right?
Absolutely, it was. I loved it.
If you didn't know anything about Dragon Ball and you watched Daima, you wouldn't understand the significance of the transformations that happened, Vegeta going Super Saiyan 3 and then Goku ultimately going Super Saiyan 4. Like it would mean nothing to you, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
so what people are guessing is that Goku is now going to have a Super Saiyan 5 transformation, which, there's been a lot of fan art where Super Saiyan 5 Goku, he has silver hair. And so what people are speculating is if Goku has to make Ultra Instinct his own power, if he can transform and tap into his primal state, which is his Super Saiyan 4, which is canon now, and then do Ultra Instinct on top of that, now we have Silver Super Saiyan 5, Great Ape Goku.
Oh
So
wow,
it'll be interesting to see if that happens.
and it'd be interesting too if they had that like with Cell Red and Black Frieza.
Oh, Black Frieza looks cool. Dude,
Oh
when he
yeah.
showed up and one-shotted Goku and Vegeta, basically laughed and left, I was just like, "That's hilarious."
I know. I know. You can't win them. Cannot win them all.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be the turning point to where Goku and Vegeta finally have to, like, Vegeta has to double down on Ultra Ego, and Goku has to figure out because Ultra Ego is Vegeta's power, right? Goku still hasn't found his power yet, and I think it's gonna be a Super Saiyan 5 Ultra Instinct.
I cannot wait to watch it. But however, we are not here to talk about Dragon Ball Z
I
or
know, I
the
know.
franchise, but we're here to talk about you. So you are closing in on 3 million YouTube subscribers. So what are some of the strategies that you and your team have done to expand your audience?
Yeah, great question. So for me, the biggest audiences I have for my fitness content is Instagram and YouTube. And what I've been doing is actually kind of repurposing my older catalog. I mean, I have videos for how to do basically every exercise in the gym. And over the last couple of years, I've noticed that a lot of YouTube channels are kind of steering more towards just being like drama news channels versus really teaching anything. And a lot of these channels are also, putting together workout advice that, a lot of exercises and exercise selections that don't really make sense. Not everyone. There's a lot of amazing channels out there. But because of the rise of social media and how you can kind of just post and get popular, there's not as many fitness influencers out there that are actively seeking out like certifications, getting, educated on health and fitness and nutrition and exercise anatomy and things like that. And so I've noticed that there's been a pretty big void in someone just teaching people how to exercise properly, put together routines. And so I've been doing a cross combination of reels for quick workouts, as well as educational videos, just showing people not even just the basics, but how to do all the exercises, and then how to do boutique type things, introduce supersets, different types of training techniques into their current workouts to help them make more progress, right? And people have really been gravitating towards that because I keep things simple. You know how I do my videos. They're not 15-minute long-winded videos on how to bench press. They're like 3 minutes long. And I can jam pack, 7 tips in a 3-minute video, right? And that's all you need.
Absolutely, you can do that. And like the thing is, it's like there's so much drama and story. I'm like, we don't, yeah, it's great to take us inside your life, but at the same time, have like you can do like a combination of like tutorial and also do what's going on in your life, but have them do two separate videos, not in one.
Yeah, exactly. And when I see things that, kind of throw me off, like I actually did a video yesterday. It was a workout exercise I saw from Muscle and Strength on Instagram. And they're like, if you have only time to do one exercise for back, do this. And it was just like this weird like exercise. It was like the lat pull down machine, but they had a low row attachment. And then the guy was sitting on the floor instead of being locked in with the pads that go on the knees. And he had a band around the handle. So he's like pulling the band while sit. And I was like, I wouldn't do this exercise even as an advanced lifter ever. What and then I gave an example of like what you should do if you're limited on time and you want to get a good back workout. Do 6 sets of a lat pull down and superset it with reverse pull down. Go as heavy as you can, and you're done. And get out of the gym in 20 minutes.
And
Right.
using that incorrect form could lead to injuries.
Well, I was actually showing somebody the exercise, and I put the band around the handles, and the band snapped and hit me in the face.
Oi.
And I was like, "Well, there's another reason why you shouldn't do this exercise."
Seriously, Scott, that brings up to my next question because as one of the legendary YouTube fitness icons, and who are today's rising stars in the YouTube community and why do they stand out? But I can tell from this answer for what work hard, but there's not a few. There are only a few.
Yeah, I mean, as far as rising stars, the people that I see pop up the most, more of a social media fitness person is like Chris Bumstead, and I see a lot of stuff around Sam Sulek. I mean, these guys have been They have phenomenal physiques. They're Chris Bumstead has been winning the Olympia nonstop. Sam Sulek just started doing some shows, and the style that they do is more of like that vlogging style, like the more vlogging lifestyle type of videos, which is great, with education sprinkled in too. So they've been doing really well. It's a little different from like what I like to do. I enjoy focusing more on the education. But yeah, those two guys have been absolutely incredible.
Absolutely. So keep an eye on both. Keep an eye on both of them. So one of the last questions that I want to ask you is, if you have the opportunity to meet with people who are struggling on their fitness journeys, what advice would you share with them?
That's a great question, and I still take clients. I only take about 4 or 5 clients at a time, and I have information on my website if you guys want to contact me, or you could DM me on Instagram. But what I always do when I work with my clients is, first thing I do is I dispel like a lot of myths and a lot of like anxieties they might have around fitness, right? So like the number one anxiety is around food. A lot of people think if they want to take control of their fitness and their life that they're going to have to do like an insane diet. And the short answer is a lot of stuff is sensationalized for marketing to make you want to spend money on certain things. At the end of the day, if you stay away from, boxes of food that have colorful cartoon characters on them, right? For the most part, you're going to be pretty well with your eating. And as long as your focus is higher protein over carbs, and you have moderate fats, you're going to be okay. Like you can literally start training with one of my workout programs, clean up your diet a bit. You don't have to count, every gram of carbs and protein, and you will see phenomenal results. And what I also do, especially recently, is I introduce people to fasting. And fasting doesn't have to be like an insane 20-hour fast every single day. But once you understand the benefits of it, like you do need to have a certain amount of time where you're not eating food for a few different reasons. Number one, your body needs time to digest everything that's already in your stomach, right? And if you want your body to start using fat for energy, you have to first burn through all the glycogen that's stored in your liver and in your muscles. And once it's burned through that, that's when you start burning fat for energy. So if you're constantly eating all the time, your body is never able to burn through all the glycogen because it's constantly getting replenished. So your fat just continues to store more and more and more and more and more and more and more, right? Whereas you could eat pretty much the same meal plan and then have a window of like 5 or 6 hours every day that you eat, and the rest you're fasting, you'll start losing weight for that exact reason. And it might sound like something hard to do, but when you really think about it, when we were kids, we would fast all the time. When I was a kid, I was locked outside all day, and if I wanted something to drink, I had to drink water from the hose, right? I mean, that's just how it was as kids. You're outside playing, running around, and you're drinking water out of the hose and you're going back to your business. And we wouldn't eat till dinner time. So we were literally doing like 18, 20-hour fasts as kids, and we were perfectly fine. It's just that as you get older, you have more access to things, you have adult money. So, you can wake up, go have a snack, and then later have a snack, and then later have a snack. And all you're doing is you're allowing yourself to get out of like a schedule where your body can sufficiently, eat up all the food in your belly. Plus, fasting has other benefits too, like helps your body get rid of disease cells and things like that, right? We don't have to get into all of it. I have a video actually I posted maybe 3 weeks ago, Jacob.
Uh,
Maybe you can link to it. It's called I did Ozempic. It's like a video comparing Ozempic and fasting. And the thumbnail's funny. It has like half of my body is a zombie, and the other half is healthy. So check that out. And then as far as workouts, I stick to the basics, like I said, right? There's plenty of exercises. There's a whole catalog of exercises that anyone can do that you can put into a program. You can adjust the sets, you can adjust the reps, you can adjust the frequency of, how long you're resting, add in supersets, add in drop sets, techniques like these, and still be in and out of the gym in 45 minutes to an hour. And then if you get to a point to where you want to be in the gym for a longer period of time, sure, we can make a workout program for that. But for most people, if they want to make fitness a part of their lifestyle, and their routine and their eating has to fit their lifestyle, and there's really easy ways to adjust that.
That's incredible, my friend. That's incredible. So, last question. Are you ready?
Sure.
All righty. Where can they find WAGMI Games? Number one. Number two, where can they find all your fitness programs? And most importantly, where can they connect with you on social media?
Yeah, thanks, Jacob. So you guys can go to wagmigames.com, WAGMI games.com, and you can find everything there. You can find our anime trailers there, our game cinematic trailers there, of course, download links to download our game. Or you can just go on the App Store and type WAGMI, WAGMI, and the game will pop up. The icon is actually a photo of Melcros, one of our main characters. And then on social medias, it's WAGMI Games everywhere. I'm sure you guys probably figured that out by now. And then for me, of course, my website is muscularstrength.com. Anyone can sign up for 7 days free. As soon as you join, you can try all my workout programs. You can check out my meal plan app. You guys can go to my exercise and routine database to find new exercises and routines that you maybe want to supplement into your current one. So muscularstrength.com for my website. And for me, it's just my name, Scott Herman Fitness, on YouTube, on Instagram, and then on Twitter. You can see my symbol here on screen. It's just at Scott_Herman. Because Twitter was the first thing I ever made outside, I guess, of Facebook, right? Because when I got off the real world, Twitter just came out and I got my name on there. So I was like, great.
All righty. So, guys, if you missed an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, visit our channels on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Spreaker. Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Now, are you on social media? I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and YouTube. Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. And guys, want to see all of my interviews with Scott Herman? Head to the blog that started all, jakes-shake.com. Once again, jakes-shake.com. Scott, it is such a privilege to have you as always. Thank you so much for dropping by. I'm so grateful for our friendship. You will always be one of my favorite people. And thank you so much for being an inspiration for me when it comes to my fitness journey.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Jacob. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for listening.
All right, and guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a great everybody. Goodbye.